Welcome to the Truth to You Daily Podcast, a podcast designed for teenagers who want to learn more about God's Word and how it impacts our daily lives. Journey with us as we set out to explore God's timeless truth one day at a time. Hello, welcome back. It's Friday. Can you believe it? You have made it to this point in your week, and you are looking right at the weekend. Hey, I want to welcome everybody back. Listen, this is a special day for me and our youth group because we have the Midwinter Teen Retreat, and it starts this evening. Cannot wait. It'll all be going starting at 4:30 later this evening, and we'll start off with a couple of basketball games in the gymnasium. Then we'll move to our first teen rally. After that, we have one of the favorite activities of the teenagers, and that is an activity called Grog. If you've listened to some of the episodes earlier last week, you would get some context for what Grog is all about. But no time for that right now. Let's go ahead and get right to our memory verse of the week. And it comes straight out of the book of 2 Corinthians. We're looking at 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. We're also in the book of 2 Corinthians. Chapter 7 is the chapter that we are reading today, and maybe you've already had a chance to read it. We're looking at verse 6. This is the verse that really jumped out to me, but notice what it says. Nevertheless, God, that comforteth those that are cast down, comforted us by the coming of Titus. Have you ever been just cast down, as Paul says? Maybe you've had a low moment. Maybe something happened. Maybe you were sick and you missed out on something that you wanted to do. Or, you got some bad news about something, and not a whole lot looked positive at that time. I could say that we have all been there. When I think about what Paul is saying here, I think it's something that we can all connect with. And if you notice the language that he uses, he says, the God that comforteth those that are cast down. So in other words, when we are in those moments, when we're down, our attitude is just, we're struggling to be positive, we're struggling to be hopeful. God is there to help us, and I think Paul here points to the coming of Titus as a means by which the Lord was able to comfort him and others. And sometimes God comforts us through the coming of other people. Sometimes that is the answer that he provides to our struggle. I'll never forget. I was in college, and I was having a rough day. I was feverish. I believe I was sick. I went to classes. I pushed through. I had to go to work that night. It was just a day that I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to get through it. And of all things, I remember coming out of my last class and walking to my dorm. I came out of the classroom and I saw immediately that it was downpouring. There was just water everywhere. I had a little bit of a walk to my dormitory, and so I knew by the time I got there, I was just going to be drenched. I didn't have an umbrella. So you could see this was a moment that I was struggling. If I could say that I was cast down, as Paul says it, I was within a place where I was just discouraged. And I'll never forget, as I stood there on the edge of the building and the awning, looking out across to my dormitory, wishing that it was 2 steps away instead of a long way away. I remember a car pulled up, and an individual in there opened the door and said, "Hey, can I give you a ride?" And it was someone who was in charge of the janitorial department at the college, and I'll tell you, at that moment, the Lord brought him around at the exact time that I needed him. And, that may not mean anything to you, but can I tell you that told me that, the Lord knows and he cares, and he brought someone to me at the exact moment that I needed it. Like I said, that may not mean anything to you, but that meant the world to me. And so I can identify when it comes to Paul saying, hey, God comforts those that are cast down, and he comforted us by the coming of Titus. Maybe you have experienced the same thing. Or maybe you're in a spot where you've been looking for the Lord to answer your trial or your problem with something that one way that only you think that he can answer by. Well, take a step back and maybe just take a look and see if the Lord has put somebody in your life recently that has been meant to comfort you, just as Titus was meant to comfort Paul. And Titus comfort others as well. Listen, you can be a comfort to others. Let's do that today. On this Friday, let's try to comfort other people and be a help to them. You never know what they're going through. We want to notice the teen of the day real quick, and that is Jaden. We're praying for Jaden B. Please take a moment today and take him to the Lord in prayer. As always, I know that he would appreciate it. Hey, thanks for joining us, and we hope that you will tune in on Sunday. Tomorrow we've got the retreat, so there'll be no Saturday sit down. But tune in again for the thought of the day, straight out of the book of 2 Corinthians this coming Sunday. Thanks so much, and have a great day.